one door has closed, another, so many doors will open later on, perhaps not the very next one. Sometimes in our lives, you know what happens? I'm not too sure about this community, but I think it might be a problem here too. Because we all have 5 fingers. If I were to say, I know something about you guys. And you say, what? I say, you've got 5 fingers. It's true, but there's no big deal, right? Because we all have 5 fingers. The same applies. If something bad happens to you once, and a little while later another thing, and a little while later a third thing, and a little while later a fourth thing, and 5, and 6, what are you going to say? Please, please help me. What are you going to say? Someone did something here, right? I think there is a bit of black magic. I think there is a jinn. Subhanallah, what's the jinn? The jinn is really... You want to know more about jinn? Subhanallah. We were talking to the little children, and once I was telling them, you see that the water that you're drinking, you have to say the name of Allah before you drink it. You know why? Because there are 3 jinns in the water. 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, mashallah. H2O, subhanallah. May Allah grant us forgiveness. May Allah grant us forgiveness. I don't think you saw that one coming, right? MashaAllah. So there are jinn right in front of us right now. But don't blame the jinn, subhanallah, for your failure. And not only your failure, for the gift of Allah in the form of what you may perceive as failure. It's not failure, it's just Allah's plan coming to pass. The time you will succeed is when you get up immediately and keep trying. Get up immediately and keep trying. I read a news piece yesterday of a game, if I'm not mistaken, it was underwater hockey. I've never heard of that before, besides yesterday. You can check it in the news. And they were saying there is a lady or a sister from Singapore who won after so many years. She actually became a world champ. And she kept trying and for years on end, subhanallah. Those who are champions here, the first time you went, you probably didn't make it. The second time, you didn't make it. Even the boxers, you were knocked out. You know what? It stops where you give up. Allah does not give up. It stops where you give up. Allah does not give up. Remember that. So whatever you're going through, don't give up. That's the secret. Do not give up. Allah knows the future. He knows what did not happen. If it were to happen, how it would have happened. That's in the knowledge of Allah. So Allah knows why He stopped you, why He blocked you. When you get up and try again, there is barakah in it. If you are divorced, try again. You're divorced again, try again. I know a person, okay, I'm not going to say brother or sister, because it happens to both. I know a person who married after being divorced 5 times. And they say, it was worth it. I say, why? Because it's only through all of that I am now married to the love of my life. I have no regrets. I've forgotten everything that's happened in the past. And I'm like, gosh, there are people who are just divorced once and they're so depressed, they cannot even emerge in the public. Did you hear? They feel so embarrassed. What's embarrassing? What is embarrassing? Your business suffered, don't be embarrassed. You were taken for something, don't be embarrassed. It was from Allah. If you're a true believer, you get up, we're not arrogant, we're not proud people. When you're too proud and too haughty, too arrogant, you're flying very, very high. The day you drop from there, you break your bones. But if you're a humble person, greeting people, trying your best, you will suffer the ill of people. It's quite normal sometimes, In society, you have people who will not be happy at your happiness. What do? Keep going. It's okay. Minimize your link sometimes with people who are toxic. You minimize your link because you want to keep yourself balanced. Speak to those who empower you. They make you feel worthwhile. They keep encouraging you. Don't worry, you failed. Let's go back. I know of a doctor who became a doctor and a top doctor. But he says, when I was at high school, I failed my O-levels thrice. I had to repeat 3 times. Some of us cannot make it to the faculty of medicine. So what happens? We try again. And then we still didn't make it. We try again. Have you ever asked your doctor, sorry, before you operate on me, I want to know, did you pass your O-levels 1 go? Or did you have to repeat? Trust me, if you know the answer, you might walk out of the doctors. Subhanallah. It's got nothing to do with that. How many of our children people say, oh, this child is not too intelligent. And later on in life, they succeed more than those who were first in class. In fact, I can tell you something very interesting. The wealthiest from amongst us, I'm not going to embarrass them, but I'm going to say, they're not necessarily the most highly educated. Some of them don't even really have much school education. Am I right? Yes. MashaAllah. You see, it goes to show that rizq is from Allah. Sustenance is from the Almighty. I laugh at a father who says, Subhanallah, Rabbil Alameen. Okay, let me not say that. That might touch a nerve. But who connects success to education. The two are very loosely connected, not very strongly connected. Because the most successful in terms of dunya, in terms of worldly life, are not necessarily those who are highly educated. When I was young, the doctors used to be wealthy. Now, it's just a guy who does some wheeling and dealing down the road who's the wealthiest, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness. For as long as you're using that wealth in the right direction, you are still successful, whether it is more or less. So my brothers, my sisters, the gist of what I'm saying this evening is the problems we have, the difficulties we have. Within your capacity, you try to resolve them. Beyond your capacity, leave it to Allah. He will sort it out. He will sort it out. It's not in my capacity. I can't do much about it. Don't be a person who goes into a shell, who withdraws. No. We're all going through issues, difficulties. Remember the prayer I started with? I said, may every one of us who's going through whatever difficulty we're going through in our own unique lives, may Allah help us. Do you know why? If I were to ask you to put up your hands if you don't have any problem, difficulty, hardship, or negativity in your life, none of our hands would ever be up. Because that's the plan of Allah. He tests us and He will continue testing us. And He tells us, if I've tested you and you want to know whether I love you or not, I'm going to give you a bigger test. When the test is bigger, the certificate is far bigger, far greater. عِظَمُ الْأَجْرِ مَعَ عِظَمِ الْإِبْتِلَاءِ. One wonders why. I can tell you simple. Let's go back to the school I spoke about. When you pass your grade 7, how difficult was the exam? Nothing. It was quite easy. They asked you simple questions. You got a grade 7 certificate, you moved. Get to O levels. Is it not a bit more difficult? Why? Because the certificate is a bit bigger. It shows you did a bit more work. Go to university. Whoa. Do your masters. Do your PhD. Then what? Oh, I'm sweating all night. I'm studying. It's a massive exam. It's a big burden. It's a worry. But when you come out of it, your certificate is such that, wow, you've got something great. It's the same way with Allah. If He throws at you simple things, you just got a cough. I mean, what's that? You're just going to get a grade 1 certificate. We all have coughs, come on. Especially right now here in Sydney, Brother Tahseen was asking me, I think you're getting the flu. I said, don't worry, it will fly away as soon as I fly out. Because it's just a flu, mashallah. Do you know what? Perhaps it's the weather, perhaps it's something else. It's okay, it's minor. You can't say, Allah's testing me. Allah's testing me. I have a cough. Allah's testing me. How can you say that? It's a basic thing. It's 1 + 1 = 2. That's a cough. That's a flu. But when you have something major, when you're diagnosed with something massive, has it not happened to others? Yes, it has. You need to bear sabr, you need to try the medication, you need to find out more about medicinal cannabis, and you need to carry on, subhanallah. I see the guys who know what I just said, smiling. But it's factual. You need to find out more, you need to try your best. And you know what? If Allah cures you, that is a blessing. He will grant you a reward for having gone out and tried, having borne the patience, and He will give you a great reward. But if Allah decided to take you away, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Did others not go away? Why are you so frightened? Can I ask you a question? Please put up your hands if you want to go to paradise. Put up your hands high, very high. Woo, mashallah. May Allah gather us in Jannah. Ameen. May Allah gather us in paradise. Ameen. Right. Who wants to die right now? Put up your hands. You see. Okay. Do you really think if I die on that day, Allah's going to cast me in hellfire when He is Arhamur Rahimin, Ra'uf? He's the most kind, the most merciful, the most generous, the most forgiving, the most beneficent, the most compassionate. La ilaha illallah. How can I lose hope in the mercy of this great maker of mine who loves me so much? He's taken me away. Subhanallah. May Allah grant us all a good death. May Allah grant us all paradise. And may He fulfill the purpose that we are on earth. May He help us fulfill it in a good way. One of the purposes is to reach out to others. كَانَ اللَّهُ فِي عَوْنِ الْعَبْدِ مَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ فِي عَوْنِ أَخِيهِ. Allah continues to help His slave for as long as that slave is busy helping another. Hence, we have helping hands, mashallah. We're reaching out to the orphans, to those who have less than us, in whatever way we can. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take care of our affairs. May we be from among those who know how to handle and manage adversity and negativity. May we never become despondent because of the few challenges that we're facing on earth. And may we definitely be from among those who look for others who have similar problems and help them so that we can realize how small our matters are and problems. أقول قولي هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.